2, 1. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Facebook Live. My name is Eileen West, and I am a general internist in Fairfax, Virginia. And I am really happy to be able to introduce one of my colleagues in my internal medicine practice. This is Rachel Boehm, who is she is a certified wellness coach and an individual organizational wellness expert. And we are so happy to have her both available to our patients in the practice and just to continue to keep learning about all the things that she does for the people she works with. So she told me a quote, which I really love. And she said she wants people to look in the mirror and be excited by the person they see staring back at them. And that is the first journey, I guess, first step of the journey in getting where it is that you want to go. So Rachel, thank you for joining us. I'm so happy that you're here. And I'd love for you to tell us, just give us a little bit of an overview about some of the things that you do work-wise and some of the situations that have been helpful for the people that you've worked with.
Yeah, thank you. Well, and thank you for the opportunity. It's truly a pleasure and honor to work with you and your practice. So I think I work in a number of capacities, like I said, and all of it is driven by, or like you said, and all of it is driven by that desire for people to be confident, look in the mirror, feel proud, feel excited about the person they see staring back. And it started because I was not that person for so long and kept looking to all of the things that my clients, your patients probably look to find the answers to, quote, fix the problem they think they have. And now I want to pay it forward. You know, I was fortunate to eventually find and create the resources that I needed, the support that I needed. And I want to be that support system for people that I didn't have or couldn't find for so long. So I work in organizational wellness. I work with individuals as well. And I'm getting my PhD in industrial organizational psychology and occupational health psychology. So everything I do is truly driven by, like I said, that desire to pay it forward. I think to your question about clients specifically, one of the big takeaways I hope people get from our conversation is that wellness can mean so many things. And people think sometimes when they hear wellness coach or health coach that they have to want to be on a diet or they have to want to be exercising or losing weight. And it's so much more than that. And it really is about what will help you fulfill and reach what we call self-actualization, or just that highest version of yourself. And my role is to help you find what that is. So maybe it's more time management, so you can do all these other things. Maybe it is nutrition or exercise. But often, people will come for time management tips or help with finances. So really taking a broader perspective of wellness and just being open to exploring, how could my life be better?
Yeah. Well, when I first heard about the services that you were offering, I got really excited because I could think of so many different scenarios where having somebody like you available would really make a difference for people who are, many of the people who sign up for my practice are really ready and keenly interested in making major changes that are going to positively affect their health. And many years of living a certain lifestyle or eating a certain way or, habits that we fall into that may not be serving us well with health. And sometimes people get a scary diagnosis and they need to make immediate changes. Sometimes someone around them has dealt with a major health issue and they see things a little differently and they want to do something differently. So I'd love to hear some of your best tips and suggestions for making a new habit. How does that happen? And how can we really make one that will stick?
Oh, it's $1 million question, right? I think, the first thing is probably not what you would expect me to say, which is have some self-compassion. You know, how many times, right, have we tried to go all in, all or nothing, change everything, beating ourselves up because like we can't do it, I'm a failure because I've tried so many times. And one way to reframe that, one tool that I help my clients develop is that art of reframing. You're not a failure. Look how many times you've kept coming back and trying, rewiring your habits in your brain is hard. So give yourself some compassion. You're still showing up for the fight. The next thing is to take it little by little, right? So rather than an all or nothing mindset, coming with an an always something mindset. And that's true for so many things, right? Like we talk about 80% on, 20% off. It doesn't have to be all vegetables, no quote fun foods. It can be a little bit. It doesn't have to be 1 hour in the gym or nothing. It can be 10 minutes of movement because that's all you have today, and that's fine. And then the third one would be kind of along all of those lines, which is baby steps or strategic steps, if you prefer that term. Just take that first next step and then see what happens.
Yeah, and I love that. And I think it really, it's over time. And I agree, you got to be kind to yourself along the way.
Yeah.
So for example, someone who is facing a new diagnosis of diabetes, a lot of times they'll immediately start to think, oh, I want to lose 50 pounds tomorrow and I'm going to never eat sugar again. And that's not really how it works. What you really want and need to do is to be realistic. We have to say, okay, a 5% loss of a person's body weight, which is, sometimes 10 or 20 pounds, is enough to make a big difference as far as blood sugar is concerned. And then also that, there are, the little changes along the way, and then acknowledging and supporting what you do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. That's great. I really, it's a process. It's not, it's a journey. It's all part of the journey.
It is. Yeah. We think like, okay, what's the first step to losing weight is working out, or the first step to starting an exercise routine is like going to the gym. No, the first step is like buying your sneakers, right? Or if you already have them, right, the first step is like, what gym would I go to? Where is a gym in my neighborhood that I feel comfortable walking into? Like that's the first step. And that could be all you do the first day. And that's a lot. That's huge. You moved forward towards your goal.
Yeah. And we forget because we think that, the only thing that matters is the end result.
Exactly.
What really matters is making the small changes that are sustainable along the way.
And that goal should show up tomorrow, right? Like Amazon Prime it,
right? Right. Yeah, it's like, somebody cutting back on caffeine. Don't just stop. Drink half this week.
Yeah.
Or, smoking and allergies can be the same. People who are some people just quitting cold turkey is not going to work. And the average person tries to quit 3 or 4 times before they succeed. Yeah. So, it is little steps along the way with the journey.
Absolutely.
So that's great. So tell us a little bit about what services you offer. So
yeah.
How is your practice set up? How do people reach you? What services are available? What's the structure? That kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that's a great question because so many people are not really familiar with what wellness coaching means and all of that. And so I would say just first off, if you're interested in coaching, reach out to a number of different certified coaches, look for those certifications and kind of interview them, make sure that the personality is the right fit as well. And so I always offer a free consultation because not just do my services work, do the prices work, and does the schedule work, but are we a good fit for each other? And then from there, if that's a yes, depending on your schedule, your budget, and what you're looking for, you can sign up for weekly coaching, bi-weekly coaching, weekly coaching, or just that first session where we create that wellness plan. And then you check in with me, you make your coaching appointment, your coaching follow-up session, if you will, when you want. So it is very client-centric. I don't create, coaching is not about me teaching you. There will be a little bit of education, and I'll explain that in a second if we have time, hopefully. It's not about me giving you the same curriculum, right? Which is just a blah word anyways. It really is an art and a science. What do you need, and how do I help you find that within yourself? So an analogy for coaching is, and I forget where I'm stealing this from, it's one of the books for the board exam, but coaching is, you come to me and you say, I want to climb that mountain. And if I was a trainer or some other capacity, I would say, great, cool, here's the map, here's what you need, here's the tools, like, go tell me all about it when you get back. Take that course. A coach says, awesome. How do you think you're going to get started? Like, what tools do you already have to do that? I'm going to go with you. And every now and then I may point out a few things, and I might just double check you're putting in your hand in the right space, but I'm going to cheer you on and motivate you and help you find strength within yourself to see which path and what rock you need to scale to get to that top. And when you start to fall, I'm right there with you, but we're going to do it together. And then we're going to come back down. And at the end of it, you're not going to say, oh God, Rachel is the best coach, she's so cool. You're going to say, man, that's awesome. I climbed a mountain. I didn't really even need her. That's the goal of coaching.
That's great. That's really, I love that perspective.
It's like the best way, I think, to kind of crystallize or help explain what that relationship should be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And how often do you typically meet with people? How does it start? Does someone say, I have this goal? And then you help to define the goal, and then to figure out how do you get that from being a goal to being a habit? And then what's the process like? How long does it typically take? That kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say, it depends, but it really does. It really does depend. I mean, it's like the most annoying answer ever, because people, they want, like, it takes 6 months or 3 months and then you're done. And that just gives you a sense of control and comfort. But it really does depend. And, you might come, I have a couple of clients that came thinking they were coming for nutrition coaching. Mm-hmm. And what they realized is that they were coming for stress management. And then through stress management, as they further developed their stress management skills and their healthy coping skills, the nutrition started to take care of itself. Mm-hmm. If we had just looked at like traditional nutrition coaching, that could have been like 3 months, 6 months, like, here's some health education, here's some nutrition education, go see an RD for your diet plan, because I'm not going to give that in just because of scope of practice. And then, you're off and running. But we're peeling layers, everything is connected. It's like a spider web, right? You pull on one thread and the whole thing kind of moves around. So I have some clients, to a little bit better answer your question, I have some clients that, we have a session once a month. And then I have some clients where we have a session every week. And it really, again, goes back to, what's your schedule? What's your budget? Where are you comfortable?
And these are 30-minute sessions typically?
Yes, 30-minute sessions. I use a platform like this. So it's HIPAA compliant, so we can do video or phone. And then there are 30-minute sessions. You also have email support and a platform. So you have food and mood journal access. You have a lifestyle journal access. There's some other kind of health education components that you can do on your own time, and a few other bells and whistles all attached to that. And then, like I said, email support between sessions, whether that is the weekly session, monthly, etc. So I'm here for you in whatever capacity that you need.
Mhm. And you have a website that people can review too. Do you want to just share what that is?
Yeah, thanks. So yeah, I think that might be the best jumping off point. So everything links off from there. It's rachboehm.com. More because I let Rachel go once and it's now taken. So first part of my name, last name, rachboehm.com.
Okay, good. So people can go and explore.
Yeah, absolutely. Reach out anytime.
Yeah.
I'm happy to answer questions.
Right. So tell us, in your practice, you focus on boosting confidence, eliminating guilt, inspiring action, fostering self-esteem. How do you see these all tied together? Why are these so important to people achieving any other more, concrete goals that they might be seeking?
Yeah, I really put a lot of thought into those descriptors or those statements. And first, I mean, for a number of reasons, that's what I came to. And I'm just, for the sake of time, trying to think of like the top few. One is that outcome goals, you don't control the outcome. You just don't, right? No matter what, like you can't control what number shows up on the scale. You can do things to affect the number, but you don't have control over that number. And you and I could both go into a conversation about, 125 pounds looks different on different people, right? 150 pounds, like it's never really about the number. Yeah. And there's so many other examples across the wellness dimensions that we could use. So I didn't want to put outcome goals. And when I thought about what really connects all of the dots for all the dimensions of wellness, or what people start with usually, which is like, I want to lose weight, right? Or I want to like start exercising again. It really is because a lot of the times people are walking around kind of like this, and not because of the phone. They're not feeling comfortable in their bodies. They're not proud to be in their bodies. They look in the mirror and they're like, the first thing is the first 20 things that bother them. And when you live in your space like that, it affects how you act in your space. It affects how you do your job. It affects how you are with your partner and your kids and your friends, the risks that you're going to take. And so it really does connect with your lifestyle. And so the saying, when you look good, you feel good, is really true. And just as an addendum to that, I'm not talking about looking good, like looking like a magazine. I'm talking about looking like your best self. Mm-hmm. And so that's sort of what I was trying to get at with those, I'm going to say descriptors just for lack of a better word right now. But
Sure. Wow, it's all really relevant, and we see these kinds of things. It's all a part of really, anybody who wants to really be their best self has to do a little bit of soul searching and a little bit of deep diving and coming to terms with what they're comfortable with, what they know, what the patterns are that they've developed over time, and how to work with those, and how some of those patterns might actually not be serving them well. Yeah. And I think sometimes people really appreciate that perspective from a health coach too, and say, sometimes you need somebody to say, how's that working for you?
Yeah. Respect.
Get in our, in our own routines, and we wonder why we're doing the same things and we're not getting any different results, and we wonder why we're not getting results. And so it can be very helpful to have a fresh perspective.
Absolutely.
On board to help you look at things and divide some things up and make I love the smaller goals, because it really is much more tangible that way. If you have the smaller goals, and then you can make one small goal a habit, then you can start on another one later.
Absolutely.
Tackle the next one.
And the success and confidence that you get from tackling that first one gives you that, like, propels you into the next, BJ Fogg has a lot of work on habit development. James Clear is also another great person to tap into. And BJ Fogg's is like, floss one tooth, just one, and then do two, and then do as many until it starts to feel like work. And then when it feels like work, stop. And then you build up, and then eventually you're flossing your whole mouth and your dentist is really happy. But it just starts with the one tooth.
I like that. So tell us, this has been a really remarkable year for a lot of people. 2020 has just, I think people's stress meters have been higher than almost any time in recent memory for many people globally, because of the health situations that people are dealing with, a global pandemic, the economic situation, the political situation. There's been so much happening around us that people are, I think some people don't even realize how stressed they might be as a result of all of this. Talk to us a little bit about your thoughts about managing stress and about things that people can do to, just to get refocused and recentered and figure out how to not let that stress really significantly negatively impact them.
Yeah, I think it's so important. I mean, I heard someone say once, like, mental health, we all have it. We think about like mental health as this, like, the other, that person has mental health in a negative, but everybody has mental health. It's a continuum. So where are you at on that? And you probably, exactly like you said, are more stressed than you think. And it's the idea of, a fish doesn't recognize water until they're out of it, right? So what have you settled for as your norm that actually is common but not normal? A few tips and reminders would be to breathe. Like, if everybody listening right now just put their hand on their belly and took a breath into their belly, they'd probably realize they've been breathing. If they've been breathing at all this whole time, they've been breathing from their chest. And so just take some deep breaths into your belly a few times a day and just see what happens with that. Set a reminder on your phone if you need to. And again, start with once a day, The other is, especially as we head into the holidays, which is just going to be a whole different version of the holiday stress and holiday blues that we've probably had, that people have experienced in the past, is to remember that sometimes standing still when the wind is blowing in your face is progress, right? And so that ties back into that idea of self-compassion. Like, if you didn't learn to make sourdough bread during a pandemic, that's okay. Like, did you keep it together enough that that you're still here and that you're still moving forward, that you're still showing up for yourself in some way? You even just tuning into this conversation, I would say yes. And so again, that idea of when the wind is blowing at you and you're able to stand your ground a little bit, honor that has taken a lot of effort. And the third one, I've said before, but it really is so important. It's that idea of always something. So maybe today you can't do an hour of yoga or any of the other things that you feel like you, quote, should be doing to say, yes, I'm health and wellness today. Do 60 seconds of something, 30 seconds of something, hold a plank for 30 seconds and call it a day. Because you will feel different. You will feel more energized. And you may find that you actually have 2 minutes to do something else.
Do you think New Year's resolutions are healthy? How do you approach that?
I think it depends. Again, I hate the depends answer, but it's the truth one. So much of what I've observed for my clients and for my own personal journey is that it really is more about the intention than the action. And so, for example, one person who's logging their food intake in a food journal and their calories and whatnot, that could be totally fantastic for that person. But for somebody else, that's a problem. And so it really is, what are you trying to get out of it? Why are you setting that New Year's resolution? And also, what are your expectations around it? And if you're coming into it with nourishing intentions and nourishing expectations, I think it's absolutely fine. Like, goals are fantastic. But if it's a New Year's resolution that makes you feel bad about yourself or incapable, you know, it's not just a little challenging where you're like, oh, okay, I'm motivated to try and see, but it's like, I feel like I have to and I'm never going to do it and I totally suck because I'm not going to get it done. Because like come January 18th, I've already failed. Then that's not healthy.
Right. And that's what we see so often. People come out the gate so excited for things that, you know, literally a matter of days, you know, so often they're not, because they're not sustainable. They're too big, or they're coming out of, I should do this instead of I really want to do this.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Something that's meaningful to you, something that will really help, you know, your current situation at that time, not what anybody else thinks is a good New Year's resolution.
Yeah, I was just reading earlier some research around intrinsic and extrinsic motivation, and you know, it's okay if like you don't want to go to the gym. Like, you don't have to want to go to the gym. You don't need to wait for the quote motivation to want to go to the gym or do whatever type of exercise, you know, you're thinking. Mm-hmm. The desire for the outcome can be motivating enough. Like, that can be, you can want to do something because you want the outcome, not because you enjoy the doing. And that's okay. That's okay to start. Mm-hmm. And of course, the corollary is true too.
Mm-hmm. Just in the last couple of minutes that we have, I wonder if you could share your top 3 health tips from your perspective.
Oh, I mean, they're, I kind of mentioned them already, right? Which is, again, I'll just repeat it. The theme is always something. Another one would just be, again, self-compassion. I think especially in our culture, we really beat ourselves up. And in a way, we feel like we're conditioned to do that. Like, we're told that we're supposed to do that, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, you walk around, you're like, I look really good today. People might think, God, you're so conceited. You're so full of yourself. But it's okay to say, like, I look good today. I'm feeling good. Like, I'm really lucky. I did all these things, and have a little bit of a self-congratulation party. And then the other thing is be inquisitive. Ask why. Ask who said. Healthy to who. Goal weight for who. That study was based on who or whom, right? Just ask more questions. And unfortunately, the onus is on the consumer to do that homework. Mm-hmm. And that's, again, I think where having your doctor, a relationship with your doctor comes in handy. Having a coach comes in handy. Having an educator comes in handy. Who are the people on your team that you need to help you develop the skills that you need to reach the goal you want to reach? But that all starts with asking more questions, and not just, you said something before that made me think of this, and not just accepting like the label says healthy, so it's healthy, right? Or any of the other things that we're kind of fed.
All right. Well, I love all of those. That's really wonderful. We have been watching, and you and I have had some conversations about, as the literature is evolving around the real benefits of having an association with a wellness coach, and how much that improves overall care in a primary care practice when people are trying to make real concrete changes in their lives to improve their health. And I think it's always been a marvelous idea to have somebody available to augment what we're doing. So I want to thank you personally for being the And Associates in Eileen West, MD and Associates. This is what I think helps to offer really excellent care to people, is to be able to come at it from multiple different angles. And we really appreciate your knowledge and your expertise and your understanding and your experience of all of this. You have been doing this work for quite some time now, and I'm very happy that you're available for our patients.
Thank you. Well, I mean, it is very humbling, and I hope that your patients realize how lucky they are to have a forward-thinking physician for them, because it is the future of primary care. but not the majority aren't quite there yet. So this is definitely a rare and wonderful opportunity.
Oh. Well, we look forward to talking with you again sometime. Well, maybe we can do this again in the spring.
I would love to.
Terrific. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank
And
you.
you all have a wonderful evening. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. And we'll see you next time. Take care.